Good morning, guys. I'm just going to do a little review of angles and parallel lines based on the video that you watched last week. And just do a little bit of explanation as to how these angles are relative to the parallel lines and the transversal. Okay, so if we start here with A and B on this first diagram, you can see that A and B are both outside the parallel lines and they are on opposite sides of the transversal. Okay, so this arrow and this arrow indicates that these two lines are parallel, and this is the transversal that's going through it. Okay, so A and B on the outside of the parallel lines, opposite sides of the transversal. That's why they are called exterior alternate angles. And these angles are equal. So A equals B. Okay, so if we look at our second one, interior alternate angles. So as mentioned before, here are the parallel lines. This is the transversal. And you can see that A and B are inside the parallel lines and on opposite sides of the transversal. This makes a Z pattern, and A equals B. Okay, so now we're going to move down to the third one. And this is called corresponding angles. These make an F pattern. Okay, and what you can see is that they are on different sides of the parallel lines, or they're both below the parallel lines, and on the same side of the transversal. But they make an F pattern, and corresponding angles mean A equals B. All right, the next one has a really long name. Interior angles on the same side of the transversal. Okay, so they are inside the parallel lines. They are on the same side of the transversal, and they make a C. I guess I could have drawn them on this side, and it would have been a forward C. But if you can see here, backward C or a forward C, could be an upside down C. It doesn't really matter. Okay, but in this case, they add up to 180 degrees. So A does not equal B. A plus B equals 180 degrees. Okay? And then our last one, exterior angles on the same side of the transversal. Okay, so you can see that they are both outside the parallel lines on the same side of the transversal. And in this case, A plus B equals 180 degrees. Okay, so now we're going to move on to trying a question based on this information, as well as the idea that you can use the idea of the sum of the angles of a triangle equal 180 degrees for this question as well. Okay, so this is one of the questions that you will see on today's worksheet, letter F. Okay, and you've been asked to find X, Y, and Z. All you've been given is the idea that these two lines are parallel, and you have two different transversals that create a triangle in the middle. Okay, so you've been given 77 degrees up here, 50 degrees down here, and we could solve for almost any of them starting. We could start with Z, or we could start with X. I'm going to start with X because it's alphabetical. And if I look here, I can see that X is on the opposite side of the transversal from this given value of 50 degrees. So, and they are both interior angles. So we'll call that an interior alternate angle. So X equals 50 degrees. Okay, and if I wanted to write my reasoning, I would write Z pattern. And I could write the fancy words, interior alternate angles. Okay. All right, so now I'm going to go to Y, and I could find Y a couple of ways. I'll explain the second way later. But the easiest part right here is the idea that Y is equal to X plus Y plus 77 degrees. Okay, so Y equals essentially 180 80 degrees minus the two other angles. Okay, so x plus 77 degrees. So we have already solved for x, so I'm going to continue on with my line. X is equal to 50 degrees plus 77 degrees. So then I get 180 degrees minus 127 degrees, which gives me 53 degrees, I hope. All right. Sorry. As always, I fell off the page. Okay, and then lastly, we are going to solve for z. And z is equal to, if you look up here at z, you can see that it's the C pattern that we mentioned before. Okay, so interior angles on the same side of the transversal, and that they add up to 180 degrees. So when I slide back down here, I'm going to write z is equal to 180 degrees minus 77 degrees, which gives me 103 degrees, because C pattern, interior angles, on the same side of the transversal. Okay, now if I look back at my image up here, I could have figured out things in a different way. So I have this 50 degrees here. I could have solved for z first, gotten 103 degrees, solved for this missing angle right here, or used this guy right here, the interior alternate angle of 77 degrees. This 50 plus 77 plus y equals 180 degrees, because the sum of all angles in a triangle equal 180 degrees. Okay, so a variety of ways you could do that. So good luck with the questions that I'm going to post today. Hope this review was helpful. Have a great day.